XXL RC. Today, we're fixing an X-MAXX. I've got 3 X-MAXXs, and 2 of them are broken right now. So we're gonna go grab one of them, throw it on the bench, see what's going on with it. Oh, this thing is so heavy. It doesn't even fit on the bench. We already got one wheel off of it. It's just been sitting like that since the bash it till it's broke video with my other X-MAXX. They stole the pin out of the A-arm here. And the last time I had this one on the channel was the Smashing Pumpkins video, where I noticed it's not really broke per se, but the steering doesn't seem to want to go all the way, I think, to the right. I'll have to look back at the video and see what's going on there, but I gotta replace that pin. Right, let's pull this body off, see what we're working with. This is just a stock 8S X-MAXX. The only things that are not stock on it are these MadMax tires, and I did put a 10th scale Savox Servo in here, so there's an aluminum steering arm. But other than that, it's just a stock 8S X-MAXX, no power upgrades. We stole the pin out of here that connects the steering knuckle to the A-arm. Now, I could just get another stock pin and put it in there, but what I did is I bought these pins off of, I got them off of Amazon. I'll put a link to them in the description if you guys are interested in them. These are very similar, very similar to the M2C Hinge pins. Let's open these up and take a look at what we got. These scissors come in handy not only for Lexing, but for cutting plastic bags open. First thing I'm seeing, it comes with a drill bit. I know the M2C kit comes with a drill bit as well, because you have to open up some of these holes. So like this hole in the end of the A-arm, it's not as big as the Hinge pin because it's supposed to stop there. You kind of feed it in from this side, so you just have to open that up because they go all the way through and they've got bolts that capture the pins. Then we've got Hinge pins. I think RPM was the first ones to make these for the X-MAXX, but they had really large cap style heads. These are like a flat head on them so they don't stick out so far. I think that's a really nice design. Those go all the way through the A-arm, and then they have lock nuts that go on them. Now there are these kind of opaque clear O-rings in here. I'm really not sure. They have no instructions at all, so I don't really know what the rubber O-rings are for. No explanation at all. Pull these wheels off. Look at how dirty this thing is. There's so much dirt caked into it, especially right where I'm going to be working. Looks like I got one of the axle bearings. That looks like the seal for the bearings kind of hanging off of there. So maybe I'll have to do that as well. I might just leave it because I didn't hear the bearing, and it does sound a little rough, but that could just be the dirt that's in there. I don't know. I tend not to replace stuff until it's like totally broken. For now, we're just going to do the Hinge pins. I think I am going to go sweep this thing off a little bit to make my job a little bit easier. Got her cleaned up about, the best that I can. You'll understand why I didn't really go deep into it when you see where we're going to be running this thing after we get it all fixed up. But like I said earlier, these did not come with instructions, so I'm just going to wing it. Where do we begin? I guess we could start with that one since it's already out. Or should we take them all out? I think we'll do them one at a time. So we'll start with that one first. See, that doesn't go all the way in because that hole is not drilled out. So I gotta grab my drill. Well, that was super easy. Nothing to it. So now that goes all the way through. Perfect. And with that, we know we don't need our little set screws anymore either, so that's nice. The heck? There's 3 washers in here. I don't even know. Maybe they don't need washers. It's a lock nut, so I have no idea what all this... There's 4 washers. So am I to believe that only one of these gets a washer per corner of the car? All right, after further investigation, it appears that GPM also has a kit that looks very, very similar to this one. And they had a picture on their website with all of them laid out kind of like this. So they had the longest one with the lock nut and the washer, and then the middle ones had lock nuts and the plastic, I think it said plastic O-ring, but these are definitely rubber. They're like a clear rubber. I've never seen O-rings like that before. And then they had the smallest one with just the lock nut. No instructions from them either. So I guess I'm just gonna install them like that. I mean, obviously they included them for some reason. Let's get started. We already know which one goes here. Put our little plastic O-ring on there. That's a 7mm nut, and I'm just gonna hold the end of the bolt with my pliers. I just want to make sure we get into that nylon. So it looks like our bolt is pretty well flush. We'll give it another, yeah. So I think that's good. Now we'll move on to the next one, which is the outer upper. There's just a retaining screw here, and then we'll be able to pop the existing pin out. It's a 2mm hex. We won't need that screw, so that can go in the screw bin. Once we get that popped out a little bit, we'll just grab it with our needle nose. There we go. Got the grip with the needle nose. Pop it the rest of the way out. Peel that hole out. So for this one, instead of having the bolt stick out of this side and put the nut on it, we're gonna stick the bolt in from this side. There we go. So now our steering knuckle and the tie rod and everything is not going to get hung up there. It's got perfect clearance. Same thing on this side, just like we did on the other side. We'll put our O-ring on there. Lock nut. We'll hold one side with the pliers. Use our 7mm. Tighten up this side just till we get all the way through the nylon. Looks pretty good. No binding up or anything. We got good smooth motion. So I think we're good there. Now I just got to do for the shock. It'll be a similar process. We have a 2mm hex head screw, just like we had on the other one. Take that and just save that. We're not going to need it for this, but we may need it for something else. Pop the pin out from the other side. Grab it with our pliers. That was pretty easy. Run that through. This one's going to be a little trickier. I don't think I can get that big 4-way wrench in here. I can just do it opposite. I'll hold on to the nut with my pliers. We'll just tighten the bolt with the 7mm. That's good to go. I guess at some point I must have lost the set screws for that bottom inner pin. There's supposed to be one on this side and there's one on the front side, and they're both missing. That'll make this job a little easier because I don't have to pull them out of there, but it also would have made it easier to lose that pin entirely while I was driving because there was nothing holding it in there. We won't have to worry about that after today. We're gonna have that beast in there holding it together. Sometimes these ones are really tough because they got a lot of pressure on them. I'm just gonna use the other hinge pin, line it up as best I can, give it a little tap with the hammer, see if I can knock it out of there. There we go. Now we're getting some movement on it. Okay. Sometimes these things get bent and then they're really a bear to get out of there, but this one actually looks pretty good. Going from the front here, this one doesn't require any drilling because there's a set screw on both ends. We are all the way in. This one is a little bit different. It gets a metal washer. There we go. We're going to do just like we did on the last one, and I'm going to hold this side. I'll hold the nut with my pliers, and then we'll tighten it on the front with the four-way wrench. Well, I didn't want to, but it's just 4 screws. I think it's just going to make it much easier. Yeah, still got to do this side. I'll probably take the one off the back as well. I don't even know. I don't think I'm going to take it all the way off. I'm at least going to loosen these up. So I just can't get that nut in there with the skid plate still on. Yeah, we're just going to take this all the way off. Yeah. There we go. Should have just did that from the beginning. So much easier. Now we can properly do this. That's good. We got good motion there. Last one on this corner. Again, you got a 2mm. This one's a little bit different than the rest of them in the way that the pin is captured with this retainer. It has these little plastic retainers that get screwed on. And I have lost these before. So now I don't have to worry about that because that's not going back on. Don't have to tap the pin out from the other side because it's already sticking out because it goes into that retainer. On the other side here, it has a little retainer screw. So we actually don't have to drill this one out either. We just have to remove this screw. I'm going to bring it down here where you can't see it. I'm going to make sure we get our drive shaft back in. Just like the rest of them, we'll feed this through. Do it from the front because it'd be almost impossible to do it from the back unless you had the whole front bulkhead off. Put our O-ring on there. That's hard to see. Oh, there we go. If you turn it all the way, it moves the tie rod out of the way. Nice. Now we can grab that nut and we can screw the bolt in. Check our articulation. Make sure our suspension's still smooth. Oh, so good. And now, you know, with this, you just don't have to worry about those pins popping out. All right, well, I got the one corner done. I wanted to show you guys the details on that, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the other 3 corners and then we'll see if we can get that steering sorted out. So, roll the time lapse. got our pins installed on all 4 corners of the truck. So the next thing I want to do is check the steering. Last time I had this out, it seemed like it didn't quite steer to the right properly. I don't know if it's the Endpoint. I'm going to check those, and I will show you guys how to do that. Sorry, there is a fan on this thing, so it's going to get a little loud because I do have to turn it on to do this. So I'm just using the standard Traxxas TQI remote. And to get into the programming, I'm going to press and hold the menu button for about 3 seconds. It'll flash. Flashes green once, and multifunction knob is 1 and channel setup is 2. So we're on 1, so we want to hit menu to go to number 2. See, it'll flash twice now. So then we're going to hit set to select that. And then the steering channel is number 1, so we'll just hit set again to select that. And then within this menu, there's the servo reversing, sub trim, endpoints, and then resetting the endpoints. So right now we're on the servo reversing. We're just going to hit menu to go down to the sub trim, and then we're going to go all the way down to 4. That'll be the endpoint reset. And then we'll hit set. It's going to flash. We'll press and hold menu to get out. And now I can steer that thing all the way past, and you can actually hear the servo buzzing. It's not exactly where we want to be, but it's good to know that our endpoints have been reset, so now we can go back into that menu, set the endpoints where we want them, save it, and then we can go out and test it. So once again, I'm going to go press and hold menu. We'll flash once. Yep, we're going to hit menu again. We'll flash twice. We'll hit set to go into that menu. And then we're going to hit set again to go into the steering menu. And then we'll go, we'll hit menu twice. So it flashes 3 times, and then we're going to do our steering. I want it to just go to that screw right before it starts buzzing, and then I'll hit set. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then back out. This is so much better. It wasn't quite, but look, it's just hugging that screw now. Don't hear any chatter. I think that's gonna be much better. So now I'm gonna throw the wheels on it, then we'll take it out and see how we did. Okay, back here in the XXL RC Playground, we're gonna see how we did on our endpoints. Oh, yeah, so much better than in that other video. So much better. And if you notice, we have gotten quite a bit of rain. A lot of it has receded, but we've still got a lot over there. That always gets flooded over there. And we've got a bunch here, right by the ramps. So earlier I was saying how I didn't want to clean this thing up too much, and you would see why later. Well, now you see why later. Maybe after this run we'll do some bearings. Oh no. No, I'm gonna have to go back there and get it. think there may be some water in those tires. I think it's safe to say that one's fixed. Steering's good, hinge pins are good. Apparently it's waterproof. I mean, I knew that already, but is anything really 100% waterproof? It seemed like I was getting a lot of water on those tires, but as I'm going, it seems to be working its way out. So I'm gonna go run it up and down the street a few times. But I think that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. And I'll see you guys in the next video.